All right. Here we go again. This is another review of stock market. Well, that's not a stock market review. What's going on with me today? I may need some more coffee, guys. I may need some coffee. It's been a long day. I've been up since about 5:30 a.m. this morning, but it was an interesting day. Interesting day in the market. Once again, if you look, you will see my thumbnail and my title is pretty much the same because nothing has changed. I have some news to break with you guys that will make you shake your head. Remember, I've been telling you guys, seems like there are some manipulation being done in the market. So today, pretty much, we have our answer for the pretty much. So it was revealed today exactly who has been buying those stocks to actually make sure the market stay up. Who has been sustaining the market, right? Everyone's been calling, we're getting signals and so forth. We've been seeing all these things, but every single time we get right on the edge, right? Right to that support level, we just can't break down. We just cannot break down every single time, and I will reveal that to you guys. If you are here, I really appreciate you guys. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is Wednesday. It was a beautiful day. I finally saw some sun here in New York. So if you didn't in the Northeast, you finally got some sun today after a snowstorm last night. Once again, so to you guys that are in Florida and other parts of the U.S. and other countries, you may not appreciate the sun as much as we appreciate what we got today because we haven't seen the sun for quite a while. If you are here, once again, make sure to smash the like button for me. Just drop me a comment. Empire Path, as usual, I appreciate you. Again, I'm here, guys. I want to make that announcement because I have to let you guys know this is the exact same thing, but I must do it. I am not your financial advisor. Everything I say here is for educational purposes. Nothing I say is any indication for you guys to buy, hold, or sell. Make sure you do your own due diligence. And if you do not know what you're doing, make sure to contact a financial advisor. Keep in mind, investing includes loss of risk, including loss of capital. So make sure you do what you're supposed to do. What I'm doing here is translating the charts to you guys, letting you guys know what the charts is telling me, translating that just like a language, right? And letting you know what Coach Lord is doing. All right, Coach Lord is here to with no BS, no fluff, no emotions, just straight charts. So we're gonna get into it. So before I go, this is the little talk I'm gonna give you guys as far as what has been happening in the market. So I know for those of you guys who trade, you might see the SPY, you might know the SPY, you might know the QQQ, you might know the DIA, IWM. So those, most of those indices are won by a company called Invesco. So it was revealed today. These guys themselves has been the one buying at support level to hold the market up. So those guys these are market makers. All right. Those guys purchased nearly $2 billion worth of stock. So they were buying them at support and having retail traders come in. They go up and they just get out right up there. They would they just get out right up there. Um, I mean, again, you could say what's being done is dirty. You could say you don't like it and so forth. There's a lot you can say, but if you get trapped, you have no one to blame but yourself. Because if you hear you're paying attention and you mess with me, I keep letting you guys know. Even when it feels like it's the end of the world because the market dropped 18 points or 20 points. What do I do? When I go into the chart, I'm letting you guys know it doesn't matter that we had such a big drop. All we did was come from all the way from the top down to the support level. We did not break support. Structure in the market was not actually broken. It's just that the moves happened very fast instead of over a couple of days, right? The move just happened in one day. And then it also happened intraday. So it didn't gap down. You can see the market just maybe it opened up and then some news happened, it went down. But you always have to look at context. All this dumping and whatever, what exactly happened? Where did it go? It just went to support level and the very next day or 2 days later it bounces. Does the same thing on the top end. at run to resistance level and and it does the exact same thing every single time. And people that are a bit overzealous, just buying, shorting the market, meaning buying puts or buying long dated calls, well, not long dated, but doing swing trade, just buying calls and whatever. People get trapped because if you bought long calls on the SPY, or you just bought like a really, well, not long. Let me just say more like medium, like 30 days out. Even if it was 60 days out, what we've seen over the past couple of months, really, nothing really changed. We just stay within a range. So as of now, right, if you never got out because you had a plan, because some people trade, that is why I say you must have a plan, a trading plan that fits into a process that you use, right? So if you don't have a trading plan and you're not following your process, what exactly ends up happening? Now you hold this thing and Ted had just been hitting it, time decay, and right now your options might be almost worth absolutely nothing because it never actually ran anywhere. It was just, it has been, I have been telling you guys the exact same thing. It has been a trader's market for quite some time. Once again, if you guys are here, make sure to smash the like button for me. This is something that really helps me in the algorithm. The algorithm likes to see that the people who are on the live are actually engaged with the live. So if you have questions, would appreciate it. If you don't have any questions, give me a thumbs up. Send them an emoji, anything to show the algorithm these are real people on the live and not bots. All right, so that would help me because they help push out the video to other people as well. So enough talking. We're going to get right down to it. Let's go right there. There you go. I talked to you guys yesterday exactly about what might happen, right? We had our levels, and I showed you guys exactly what might happen, and that's exactly what happened. Again, has anything big really changed in the market? No, nothing. We just right now at zone B. Yeah, did market go up? Yes, it did. And all we did was go to zone B. That's it. This is where we need to take. This is the strong resistance line we actually need to take. So again, if you look at it, we're just inside of this wedge pattern. That's all we are doing. All right. Let me just pull this down. There you go. See, this is what I told you guys. It might take time. We might just stay in there for quite some time, but we need a break above this. We're going to need a break of this trend line. And when we break this trend line, we go also want to take this support level, right? So there are some support to actually sustain the stock market as of now. But if we're looking at in the grand scheme of things, I mean, you can make some money. You can make some money, but your timing has to be perfect. You have to almost be like a sniper. I still believe we are still more in a day traders market. I mean, you might be able to find different things here and there, different sectors. But let me just clarify for the most part. I'm talking more on the when you're talking about like if you trade the SPY, if you trade the Qs, if you trade say the indices, the indexes, and if you like trading tech stocks. So those big cap names, most of them has just been in there. Now, if you rotate a little bit, this is where the money has been going, right? The money has mostly been going into things like utilities, energy, um, those things that's really been making a move. Industrials also making moves. Retail, even making moves and things like healthcare a little bit. Healthcare doing some things. So this is what we are mostly seeing. All right. So going straight into it. So this is the daily. You could see again. I told you guys yesterday. This is the good news that looked in this because one, we had a nice candle. Although we were below, we were right at the top of the resistance on this. I'm gonna call that an intra wedge because it's inside of the bigger wedge pattern, which is the actual wedge is way up there, right? So that was an intra wedge pattern. We went above. Now, can we break above here? What happened today? Is that enough? Is that enough to really push us up? I don't know if that's enough, but we're going to see exactly how that plays out. Another thing I want to share with you guys as well. So, Nvidia reported. earnings, and Nvidia did very, very well. Nvidia did very, very well. Um, but Nvidia is a stock that is priced to perfection. By that I mean, excuse me, if Nvidia is expected to make um, $1 billion in profit, Wall Street is actually expecting for Nvidia to actually go up and really have a pop. They expecting Nvidia to come in and make maybe like 1.5, 1.6 billion. That's a real surprise for them to say, "Wow, if Nvidia does 1.2 billion, that's not exciting." So the stock doesn't went up as much, as opposed to you have some other stock that's like, "Oh, you lost money. You just didn't lose as much," and and they went up. Or some companies would just meet expectation and they just went up. So it's those kind of things that's happening. Now, what I'm seeing in the overnight market, again, the overnight market can correct itself because there are some other news, whatever it may be. Things like that can happen. But what I'm seeing in the overnight market, Nvidia was up nearly 10, 12 points after they reported. They have dropped to being actually down 3 points. And with that goes the market. So the market went up after hours and then it dropped. All right, and I'm gonna show you guys that. Let's go right back into the chart right now. Let's go right back. If you guys are here, to those of you guys that's dropping me emojis or comments in the comments in the live, I appreciate it. If you are here, I would appreciate if you guys do that as well or ask any questions. Again, those kind of interaction do help the channel because those help me get the algorithm to actually push out the video to more people. If you can share it with other people that may be able to learn anything from this, again, I would appreciate that. Going in the 4 hour time frame, let's check the 4 hours. All right, you guys can see. So there's no after pre-market or after hours in the SPX. It's a clean chart. All right. So we had a gap up in this. Hold on. Let me just take this off. This is the level I was telling you guys we needed to take, and we actually gapped up and opened above this line. That's the line we've had here for quite some time that has been used as resistance. So we went above it. So after all, as I was talking to you guys about, after all, it seems like we did do that double bottom with a higher right bottom, right? That's the double bottom with a higher right bottom. That actually played out. So far, so good. It still looks good. Now, with this NVIDIA issue, what exactly is going to happen? I don't know because I see all the AI chips stocks are down, all the semiconductors are down, and those are heavily weighted on the stock market because these are like billion, some are $1 trillion companies. So when those companies go down, it really can drag the market down. So be careful about that. But anyway, you guys can see exactly what happened here. This is where we are. The 4 hours actually look good again, but it's that report from Nvidia that's not being received very well. That's the problem we're currently having. Again, 2 hours still. We have the MACD still looking nice, still pointing up. Looks like we had a bullish divergence, and we're curling up, and we're hoping that stays that way. Looking at that again, I showed you guys this is why I told you guys I love patterns, right? What did I say yesterday? Uh, don't worry about it, Let's man. Late, no matter if you late or not late, man. I appreciate you being here. It's 9 p.m. The fact that you decided to be here, I appreciate it. And my side on doing that for you guys is to make sure that I'm giving you guys information that you can use going into tomorrow. All right. Again, I'm not telling you much straight tomorrow, or this is what you should do tomorrow, but I'm giving you the probabilities. This is a game of probabilities. What did I say yesterday? Right? I said we are doing an inverted head and shoulder pattern. I told you guys inverted head and shoulder pattern, which means you should get a squeeze up, right? So I give you guys both possibilities. We should get a squeeze up, but we needed to gap. This would have been our neckline. So we took the neckline, so we squeezed up a little bit. All right, so that's what we were looking at. This was the trade line. We actually gapped above it. Right now, the MACD seems like it's curling down, and we had some heavy selling right into the close in the last 30 minutes. We'll see how that plays out. So that's the SPX, which is the S&P 500. I do have a question here. Metals and U.S. futures are down, not much though. Metals and U.S. futures be actually I was just trading futures right before I mean the Asia session starts at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I was trading that when it opened. It actually gapped down. I was able to get a nice trade on that real quick. But we'll see exactly how things plays out. The market was a bit confusing today. I think for those of you guys that's part of the live trading chat, I told you guys the market had too many contradiction for me because we had precious metals going up, we had defense companies going up, and we had tech stocks going up, while we also had energy going up. That doesn't make much sense. All these things typically don't go up unless we're in a crazy bull market where wherever you look, everything just going up. We're not there. So having a day where all these things are running, meaning some people are getting trapped because not every single sector can rise altogether, because that means the money would be way too scattered, and we would not have enough momentum to push up. Did the Nvidia earning give any indication of what end of the month or next month might look like? And that's the thing. Sometimes Nvidia reports, Nvidia itself might even go down, but what they do is like they sort of like calm the stock market down, because when people are saying the AI trade is done, because they serve so many different companies. So when they come out and if they say they have a ton of orders, they have new deals, yada yada, and all this stuff, it shows companies have money to spend. So there's that spend is still out there. So that means they're making money. So it reassured people that the AI stock is also not dead, meaning now the Broadcom, Taiwan Semi, all those companies, AMD and so on, they also start wanting, because like, hey, the AI trade is not dead. You guys might hear people talking about that. Hey, the AI trade is dead. That AI trade has been dead for a really long time. I don't know. I think maybe they should start calling it the AI zombie trade now, since it's been dead for so long. I don't think the AI trade is dead, because the AI is here to stay, and you have to keep replacing those chips, right? And they keep developing new ones, more advanced ones, so you have to buy the newest one. That's how the whole thing works. It's not like it's just software updates you're going to do. You actually have to buy the new chips. This is why those chip companies make so much money, because companies have no choice but to buy new ones. Anyway, getting right back into the chart. So I'm done with the SPX right now, guys. I'm looking at this. We may be able, maybe tomorrow, to do a squeeze up to this level. That is possible. That's zone B, which is what I call that. I call that zone B. We might be able to do a squeeze up to this level, but if we don't gap up or gap down, mark that on your chart every single time. If you day trade, right? This is a must for you. If you day trade, I need you to make sure you always mark those two lines on your chart: the previous day high and the previous day low. Previous day high and previous day low. Why is that? I'm even gonna explain you guys why. Because if we open right in the middle of this, it doesn't matter if you open inside of this bar. I can almost guarantee you we are going to try to either we're going to test one way. Either we're gonna try to drop down, and if we can't, this could be a good opportunity to take that reversal trade and write that back up. Or we will pierce through the support, and you can take a trade on the retest of that level, and then write it down. All right. So this is how you do that. It's the same thing in reverse. Same thing in reverse. You have to know certain levels. It doesn't matter whatever support and resistance that you go and find. Always have those on your chart. The previous day high, the previous day low. Again, that is if you day trading the SPY or the Qs. You do or the IWM, any of these things. You should do that definitely. Now, going to the SPY, which is a little, it's going to look a little different for the SPY. So the SPY probably going to show we're not very far from, I'm going to do that as a zone. Why am I doing it as a zone, guys? Because if you're looking at here, so we went to that level, we rejected here, rejected. So we have a few candles, a few touches. Since we have a few touches at all those places, I'm doing this as a zone. Again, if you decided, all right, I was going to come here, and since we did that today, and today I'm going to buy calls going into tomorrow or the following week. In my opinion, I cannot tell you guys what to do. In my opinion, I think that is a bad trade. Why is it a bad trade? We are right at resistance level. Now, is it possible we could gap up? I mean, I see it any time things like that happen. In the market, you start seeing a lot of videos on YouTube. You start seeing like things on TikTok or social media overall, right? People saying we're going to 120% and whatever. It's like, what is that based on? What exactly? So far, again, I want to keep reminding you guys. So far, nothing fundamental has changed in the market. All right, because if you want to say, okay, well, something has changed fundamentally, we're above this resistance, structural resistance zone, but there's another one right there. There's too many of them. This whole area, this whole area is really clogged up. It is clogged up. You cannot buy this at the middle. You cannot buy this right at the resistance line because this is what they're doing. All right. Again, what this is the I want to come back to what I was talking to you guys about earlier, and that was in reference to those big drops we've had intraday. All right. Look at this big drop we had intraday. That was from resistance level all the way down near support. And I remember that day I came here, I told you guys, no, the market is not crashing. No matter what people are saying on social media, this is not a crash. We're still above support level. And what did we do? We just consolidated for a couple of days and we pushed back up. Even when this happened, some people saying this was a 20-30% drop. This is going to be one of the worst bear market ever. And I'm like, we had to, as a matter of fact, if you guys remember, for those of you guys who remember, in January when actually that day when this happened, I was in puts right there. I got out and actually bought calls that day and what those up. So this is why I focus on the charts, and this is the only thing I care about. It doesn't matter how much we want today. It's like, okay, where did we go? Where did we start, and where are we? All right, or where might we be going? Until the market has shown us it can take this zone up there. As every time we get close to it, I'm using that as a brick wall. Show me you can break it, then maybe I'll take you seriously. That's it. All right. Digging in. Let me just go on the Qs because I just reviewed the SPX. We're going to see the exact same thing. Now, looking at the Qs do not look too bad. It surprised me to be honest, because that was a lot of candles way below here. I didn't think it had it in it, but apparently it does. So we had this gap up again. I was letting you guys know again. Now we not. This is not a crash. We still at support level. We are making lower. We're still making lower. Lower lows or lower highs and whatever. But we're consolidating here, but we're not going anywhere. And again, if you look at what those guys did while the MACD just keep on dragging down, getting to oversold territory, we never actually went anywhere. Nothing really happened. Look at that. How exactly does the MACD comes from being way overbought, way up there, to being way down here right now? And if you're looking at the different levels, This is 634, excuse me, to 616. This is pretty much neutral. So that's the game that was played. This is why those guys, every single time we get to those support levels, they come in, they buy. They keep coming in, they just keep on accumulating, accumulating, and every time it got up there, they sold. Maybe now they feel like they've taken enough of retail's money, they will let the market run, but we're just going to have to see exactly what happened. All right, looking at the 4 hours, what are we seeing here? We had this big one in the 4 hours, and we are making a bull flag right on top of support. Now, again, depending on how we open tomorrow, excuse me, this might be a great trade to try to push that up to this trend line or to the resistance level to ride that up. There's some room there for this thing to run. There's a bit of room, but we'll see. Can he do it? I don't know. Last time I checked the overnight market, it wasn't looking pretty. I think the Qs were down like if I'm not mistaken, I think they were down like a couple of points. So we were actually below. Yeah, I think we were nearly, if we're not below or almost below this resistance or this support zone. Now support, former resistance, now support zone. This is where we were. So we just gonna have to see how this all plays out. Let's dig in a little bit. The MACD looks good as well, going in the 2 hours. 2 hours is what I am so far. I'm not really a big fan of it. You can see the 2 hours. This was when Nvidia reported. We had this pop. You know what? I might as well just go to the 30 minutes so you guys can see that better. So when Nvidia reported, we had this rally up. When Nvidia reported, we actually squeezed all the way to 619, all the way to 619. That's after hours. This is why you have that shade is a little bit blue, right? It's different shades. The white is intraday, right? Market hours, and this is the yellowish one is post market hours. All right. So you guys can see that, and then after Jensen Wong had his earning calls, he had the conference call. I'm not sure exactly what he said on the conference call. I haven't checked. If any of you guys know, feel free to let me know in the comment section. Let me know if you know exactly what he said that gave us that. And while the conference call was going on, I saw that drop happen, and we ended up going from 619 down to about 613. As a matter of fact, no, we never actually went below the line. We just went, excuse me, right there. Now, going into tomorrow, there's a couple of things to be a little worried about. I never like when I see those moves. When I see things like that happen, there are potential for bad things to happen. All right. So you guys can see we had this. Now, is that going to give us a right shoulder? Is it going to pop and do this? I don't know. But I'm talking about potential. It has what's being formed right now has the potential of forming a head and shoulder pattern. Is that going to develop? I don't know because that right shoulder has not been formed yet. But if you see we have a bit of a push to more, right? Or even if we don't even have a push, because maybe you just give that and that's enough. If we're below, this will be our guiding line, right? So right there, this area here is going to be our neckline. This is the neckline, and with the neckline, once you pass the neckline, that means we are going to drop. So that's what we will be waiting for and watching for tomorrow. All right, we're watching for that tomorrow, but hey, maybe we can squeeze. But as of right now, this is what seems to be forming right now. Let me even go a little deeper to see if I'm seeing anything. That's exactly what it's looking like in the 15 minutes as well. All right, so you gotta keep watching it. This is why you don't jump into things just because you see things are warning. You have to know where we are. All right, it may well be where what we do, we just do something like that, a bounce, check that, and then some buyers step in and push it up. Patterns or not, you have to pay attention to the price action. See exactly where buyers and sellers are stepping in to know exactly where the market is going to go. Taking a quick look at the DIA, the DIA actually held up, and this thing is actually winding up. But here's the thing: if this cannot take this level, right? If it comes tomorrow, if it comes here again tomorrow, let me just do that as a zone. Okay, I'm hoping you guys are marking those on your chart. So this is something I'm actually going to be paying attention to. If if this in fact comes to this level and it cannot take it, you guys see exactly what I'm seeing. This is not hidden or nothing. We can all see exactly what I'm seeing here. If you guys can see it, it is not complicated. This is almost, it's so perfect. It almost look like some sort of church. All right, there you go. You having that being formed perfectly. We need to break above this line, right? We need to break above for that to get to be null and void. If we can break above it, that means what? We're still dealing with a possible head and shoulder pattern. Now, does that mean if it rejects here, it definitely going to crash all the way down? No, this is our neckline. If the neckline holds, that means no, we are not crashing down yet, but we have potential. That's all we're looking at is the potential. Now, how exactly do I plan on executing this? That's me. Again, not telling you to do this. This is me. How do I plan on executing this? All right. Going to looking at what's going on here. If I have some sort of like inverted bearish hammer done right there, or a doji, something like that, I'm probably going to start building a position because I like to get in a little early. All right, this is the way that I trade. You don't buy on those big old red candles, right? Because all it did was take you near support level and then you get bounced. That's how people get in bad ways. If I'm shorting, I prefer buying on green days, and if I'm buying, I prefer buying on red days. That's the way that I trade. Unless it's like that, just I'm just getting a bit of a reversal candle, but I like to get in at the bottom. All right. All right, so that's the DIA. And again, I don't want you to forget that. I don't want you guys to forget that. Let me go back on the. This is the weekly time frame. So you guys see this. This line goes all the way back to 2020. This is the COVID lows, all the way down. If you connect that line and push that line up, this has been used as support and resistance. What exactly do you see here? Since we actually was above it, we went below. We tried going above, then we went below it. Since we've been below this is what we're doing. Since we've been below it, we tapping it or come near that line, and then we drop it. We have not been able to go above it and stay there consistently. Maybe a little bit above it, but guess what? We dropped again. So this was last year, which was Liberation Day, and where are we again? Once again, we are way up there, which would tell us what? The most likely move to happen is a push down. Now that's on the weekly. Let me zoom in so I could show you guys exactly how I'm going to predict things. If I do a trend line, this is my trend line right here. Boom. Now let me go on the daily so I can see what's happening on the daily. On the daily, that's showing me what? So I had this wedge pattern. I stayed below it, was never oversold. We just stay in the middle of it, tracking up. But every time we get to the top end of that a wedge, we drop. We go to the bottom, we pop. Every single time, we just keep on going. Now, once you get toward the end of that wedge, we typically have an explosion one way or the other. All right. Now, why for me personally, I'm looking at this and thinking that most likely we're going to have a move down. Reason why we already at the top end of this channel. This is the top end of this channel. So this is why I think we might be able to have some move down. So if I wanted to draw another channel, what I would do is take this. I would take this low, connect. See if you connect this low, which was the 2022 bear market, connect it to this 23 low. Look how perfect that is. This is why when you trading, technical analysis is so important. So all this drop that we had, when people think, oh, we just dropping forever, blah blah blah. All these drop that we had during Liberation Day, whatever, we just went right to that line and bounced. And again, this is why I love doing trend lines. We come here, we tap it, and we tap it. So since we have that, what is more likely to happen? Right? This line is way down here. Would it be to squeeze up or to actually come down and tap this line? Now this is a long way down. Or this is a long way down. I'm not saying we're going to go there because we need a lot of bad things to happen to have a bear market. All right. But just going on pure technical analysis, the fact that I'm up here, I just have a wedge that just fulfill its obligation. And by the way, guys, just a reminder, this is why I'm telling you guys with the Qs and the SPY, why I'm saying nothing has changed because we're still inside. What have I been telling you guys about those type of moves? A lot of times, what happens? Excuse me. You have a break, right? I've been saying it. You have a break, and then you have a retest, meaning a retracement back to the scene of the crime before you get the big move down. Again, this is the higher probability play. When you look at where this is happening, where we are, and the current conditions of the stock market, that's the higher probability play. Does that mean this has to work out? No, because the market sometimes does things. People keep it up for whatever reason. You may have a lot of parties that needs things to stay up for whatever reason, and if they can fulfill that, they will do it. All right. So this is why you wait for when people say, okay, you know what? We've accepted the fact that we need to drop a little bit, so we're going to let it drop because I, no matter how we see it, for the market to drop, some people with a lot of money needs to feel okay to sell. So if those people don't sell, they keep holding, the market is not going to drop. We might have a couple of down days, but nothing big. All right. So this is where we are, and on top of that, we are doing a head and shoulder pattern at all near all-time high, top of the range. We now breaking below a wedge. The wedge is now done. So it's all these things I'm looking at and saying, hey, higher probability, nothing 100%, but the higher probability is we should be expecting some sort of pullback or some sort of correction. Correction is like a 10%, 15% drop, not a crash. A crash is more than 20%. All right. Does anybody have any questions while I am here? Let me see. Okay, I don't think I have any additional question. So for those of you guys who are here, I appreciate you. If you have not yet liked the this, I would encourage you to do that. I would appreciate that. But not encourage. I'm asking you to do this for me. All right. If you could just like the live, I would appreciate it because that will help the live getting pushed by the algorithm. That would be greatly greatly appreciated. Now let me take a quick look at Bitcoin. See what Bitcoin is. Okay. What exactly is Bitcoin doing? We were doing a bit of a push today. I don't like the fact that we just have a wick. But you gotta give it. I mean, there's something, there's some sort of hope because what we just came to support level, and if you take those last three candles, this is a morning star at support, so which should help us have a bit of a push. That's on the daily. All right, that's the daily. If I go and check the weekly, again, I mean the 4 hours. The 4 hours we talked about that last night. The 4 hours is doing that's doing that just did a head and inverted head and shoulder pattern, and you see we getting that bit of a squeeze, which is good to see. It's spinning out. How high can this go? I don't know. Is this a great bull one we're about to have on Bitcoin? I don't know. Again, it seems like we are making a bull flag right here. Yep, that's in the 2 hour time frame. 2 hours giving us a bull flag, so we'll see exactly how that plays out. 30 minutes, 30 minutes just doing some consolidation after a nice one up. Let me see. Oh, the VIX. I always check. I always check the VIX real quick. I love checking the VIX, especially when we at place like that. I checked it. I checked it. Before market close, and we were right on the edge to get above that 10% line. And those guys were like, nope, we're not pushing it there because you know what comes with that. Let me take a quick look at the weekly again. The weekly's not doing much. Looking at that, the weekly's not doing much. I already start seeing it. Some people saying Bitcoin is about to have a crazy bull one. Again, I'm not saying it's not possible to happen. I'm just saying I haven't seen the patterns for that yet. All right. Until I see, that's the way I play it. Right. I'm not trying to front one anything. I see the pattern. I tell you what it is. If I see some sort of pattern forming, I may tell you, hey, this is the pattern I'm seeing forming, so this might play out. That's the high probability of something forming out. But that doesn't mean this is actionable items. As of right now, if I'm looking at that, as of right now, all I'm seeing is a bear flag. That's it. And that's on the weekly. Let's see. If I go out even a month, even if I go out a month, I'm not seeing much here. So for just I would tell you guys to just be careful with people already start calling that Bitcoin is going back to 100 or to 150. The bull one in Bitcoin is coming, yada yada, and all this stuff. You know what? Maybe I'm not going to say no, maybe, but we don't know yet. Let me take a quick look at Ether. Okay, this is pure garbage. This is still under support. I mean, it's under resistance, former support level, and just making a bear flag right now. It needs to squeeze above this. If it squeezes above that, we have possibility, right? Above this line, we have possibility to make a 1 to 3,000. All right. Then at that point, we can continue to review and see exactly where we go from there. Okay. So the VIX is interesting. Look at where the VIX just came from. The VIX just came directly on top of our trend line. Not touching it yet, but that's pretty much where it is. Is that going to change anything? I don't know. Let's see what tomorrow does, right? It might continue to go down. I can see the MACD is actually curling in the VIX, and this is one of those things I told you guys that may happen with the VIX where we get a double top. So the double top actually played out, right? The double top played out, and we have that. But right now, we are exactly at support level, right? And this is how sometimes people get trapped. People see, okay, we have the market is going up, and they not checking to see exactly where exactly is the border market, right? Yeah, it's been going up the past couple of days, but where exactly is it? And where's the VIX? Because the VIX give us some signals, right? And right now, the VIX is not telling me we're going to get a squeeze. At least not yet. At least not for me to think, hey, maybe we might get a squeeze. I need the VIX to break this trend line for me to be feel comfortable. We're about to get some sort of squeeze. Now, just taking a quick look at that once again, we're just coming straight down right now. We just came straight down to this level, but then again, the VIX, you guys can see that it can pop. Literally, you can come tomorrow and the VIX may pop all the way up to 21. That's how sometimes once the market starts to go down, people get scared and things like that. And remember, these are conditions. What I'm looking at are conditions where people get trapped and people get hurt. People experience a lot of pain. We having a bit of a move up to resistance level, and then we're going to have data coming. On Friday, I believe we have CPI data. Inflation data comes out on Friday. That is for sure going to move the market either way. And I don't like when things like that are about to happen. we are the resistance in the market, and the VIX is at support. I don't like things like that. All right, when you get all those stocks going to resistance, right, and the VIX is at support level, and we having a market moving event happening. I don't like those. I don't like these things because I just don't feel like the best odds is in my favor around those times. Probability is not in my favor. I don't have an edge. I like to trade with an edge. Going in the 2 hours, again, this was like straight down butter knife. Nothing is looking like we have anything to worry about for now. But then again, this is what I keep reminding you guys. Look at what we were not worried about this. This is what we did a couple of times. We just made small, small candle, small, small candle. Again here, small, small candle, then boom. All right, let's go into 30 minutes. 30 minutes, we are going straight down. And again, the VIX is oversold in the 30 minutes. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. So that's what the VIX is currently looking at. It's at support level, so it's not telling me, just like the Qs, the stock market itself, and the SPY, just not telling me there's much room for a one. The VIX is also not telling me there's a lot of room for a drop in the VIX and a big squeeze in the stock market. Now, it can happen. Again, I want to keep letting you guys know that. What I'm talking about is probabilities, right? It can happen. And until it has shown me that, hey, I did it. To me, these are brick walls and show me. Until the VIX has shown me, hey, I can break this trend line, gonna keep thinking this is a brick wall. Because look at that. This trend line goes all the way back to December 24th. It has never been able to pierce this trend line. All right. So the VIX is doing its own wedge pretty much. The VIX is doing its own wedge. But what I don't like about it, the wedge the VIX is doing that way, way down at support level. What the market is doing, its wedge at all-time high resistance levels. All right, so you have to take that balance and account for all these things. All right, well, guys, those of you guys who are part of the community, the team chat, I apologize. I lost track of time for a quick time. I end up staying here for a little bit longer. James, I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate the compliment. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you are not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. If you watch me on replay, I appreciate you. Keep sharing the live, guys. I'm still looking at if anyone knows of any software I can use to stream on multiple platforms. I would appreciate any recommendations. So far, the ones I'm using are not working very well because I've been trying to use them to stream both on Instagram and Facebook, and those platforms those are not running very well. I'm encountering a lot of issues. They lagging me out midstream, so I've been trying to do some private streams just to see if I could do it, but those things are lagging me out, and it's a bit it's delay in one's working, one's not working. So I'm really trying to find some good software. So if you guys know anybody who already have a software that they're currently using, feel free to drop them in one of those lives or let me know. And I would really appreciate that. Well, guys, take care. For those of you guys, Golden Raven, no problem, man. For those of you guys who are part of the community, I will be on Teams shortly. I know I'm a little late today, but I will be there. If you have questions, you guys know I always show up for you guys. Anyway, I will be there in case you have questions. And for everyone who's been here, I appreciate you. Once again, make sure to like, subscribe, drop me a comment in the chat because that really helps me with the algorithm. I wish you guys the best tomorrow. Remember, it's get in, get green, get out. We're not really in a market where you know you can go in there and do something and just stay and you just watch it just keep going. This market is very volatile. Is that we might be starting going one way and next thing you know it cancel out the entire move. It's been interesting, or you might end again. Patience, patience. I'm letting you guys know you have to be. The past few days, what I've seen in the market, the past couple of days is right at the open, we have a big one up, then we have a big one down the other way, and then at some point we just stay and consolidate for a while until 12 o'clock. So you have to be patient and pick your spot. If you bored, if you are bored, I keep telling everybody, get you a cube. All right. If you bored, get you a cube or something, anything you do, or just walk away from your computer. Don't get bored and take bad trade because your fingers itching. You just want to press the button. All right. Sometimes the best trade you can take is no trade at all. I want you guys to remember that. That being said, guys, I really have to go. I have to try to go give those guys some time. That's these are my paid members. I have to make sure I go give those guys some time. If you're interested in being a paid member, please let me know. Contact me. Again, guys, take care. Best of luck tomorrow.